Hello and welcome to this beautiful talk today, sponsored by the Greatest You Academy. It's Talk Tuesday, Rewire and Align to the Universe. I'm Mia Sines and this is Lori Montry, and we are the founders of the Greatest You Academy. So we'll start off with, what does the universe want us to realign to? That's the most important question, because if we don't have that answered, we don't even know where we're going. So it's come through not just the work that I've done my entire life, and Lori's done her entire life, but through meditation and prayer, and a lot of the intense healing work that we've been doing, actual healing work with people, is the universe wants us to align to love. And then the next step is to be aware of your thoughts, where you're taking them. We're going to get into all of this in a moment. And then your fears. So I'm going to share a little bit about this, and then Lori's going to step in about the rewiring and stuff. So what does love have to do with why the universe wants us to rewire and align ourselves with it? Love is the highest vibrational state of being. And in that place of love, in somebody else, in that place of love, we are literally becoming or vibrating at a different place. And so love and heart work is very important, because we not just associate the heart with the love work, but the heart is a powerful component, and it has a brain of its own, just like our brain and our gut and our heart. So it's very important to include love. It's to become more loving, to express love. Then what do our thoughts have to do with aligning to the universe? It has everything to do with it. It's because we have so much chaos in our everyday moments. We can get into all of that stuff, here and down the road later. But when you think about fine-tuning your thoughts and what you actually allow yourself to think of and to think about, and you eliminate the things that create the anger, the frustration, the fear, you're in a better place. Now, the third one was fear, right? So if we remove our fear from our life, then we're not combating ourselves. We're not fighting with ourselves. We have an easier flow. And some people say, well, how can I remove my fears? And I'm just going to say at this part, because Lori's going to get in and then we're going to talk back and forth. But you can remove your fears. And this is one of the geniuses that we do with people, is to work with people to remove those fears. And it is attached to your thinking, how you're thinking and your thoughts, which is attached to the love. How loving are you going to be to yourself, and how committed you are on your growth path. Lori?
Yes. So, we always, and I so appreciate, Mia, the way that you can kind of summarize for us these three aspects, right? Of what does it mean to get in alignment with the universe? It means to live in love, to work with our thoughts, and to overcome our fears, right? And, for me, when I hear those things, I'm like, yes, absolutely. Those are the things that I want. Those are the things that we want to give to people. But how do we get there, right? What is the steps? We can listen to that and we can think, oh, glorious. Yes, I feel my soul lifting. I know this is the answer, but I have no idea how to make that happen, right? What does it mean to do that? What are the steps? Because that's an advanced way of being, right? What you're talking about. That is someone who has done work on themselves and opened up to a whole new level of existence. And that's not just a switch. You don't hear the message, the universe wants this, and you're like, oh, awesome, I'm enlightened now, right? But it's also, there are steps and there are methods that help us along the way to get to the love and the thoughts that are in alignment and overcoming our fears. And so, we talk a lot about, and this is the perfect place for us to kind of describe what's in the Academy, because these are the tools that you're going to use to come into alignment with the universe. So we talk about love, and how can you love something that you don't know anything about, right? There's a love at first sight kind of thing, and maybe, attraction, but how can we really love something that we don't even know what it is? And so the Academy starts with that understanding, that finding out of who you really are, your authentic self, which is also your highest self. So we have to start there. We have to get to know ourselves really deeply. What are the things that I need, right? What are my gifts? What is the way that I was built to be expressed and bring light and joy into the world? That's the starting point in order to be able to love it. And then we learn how to meet our own needs. That's how we love ourselves, by knowing ourselves and meeting our needs. And when we are firmly rooted in that and have created that security for ourselves, then we can go out and be love. When we truly love ourselves, we become love. And that is the most incredible thing. Then we're not wondering, well, how do I create love? How do I live from love? How am I connected with love? When you're doing it on the inside for yourself, with yourself, that is no longer a question. And you're just embodying love, and you're like a channel for love. And so you just spread out into the world that way. So the Academy is geared towards helping you know yourself, helping you know how to meet your needs. But that's not always the easiest thing in the world either, because we've been taught that who we're supposed to be. We've been taught, here's your limitations. These things, this is who you get to be, but not this over here. And so we have to learn to work with our thoughts in order to make our thoughts in alignment with the person that we truly are. And, there's a difference. There's a little bit of a gap between knowing who we are and knowing the things that we want to believe, and then actually believing them so deeply that we act from that place, that the old thoughts are pushed away. They're silly. They're things that we don't even relate to anymore. And so there's an actual method for us to go about doing that, catching the thoughts, understanding which thoughts are not authentic to us, which thoughts are not in alignment with the universe, so that we can create the ones that are. And we don't have time, in this space to dive into the method and how we go about getting in touch with those new thoughts and how we anchor them in, but just want you to think about the fact that, when we think thoughts over and over, we create actual physical structures in our brain, the neurological pathways that are consistent with those thoughts. So being able to work with our thoughts to bring them into alignment with the universe, we actually create new structures. And so we know how that process works. Thanks to, the last 20 years or so, there's an abundance of research that we truly can now understand exactly how to go about creating those new networks. And that's how we work with you in the Academy to establish this thinking that is in alignment with what the universe has for you, who you want to be. And then Mia was talking about the fears, and fears, we could call them limiting beliefs. We could call them, we could certainly call them fears. We could call them just a lack of knowing who we really are and how much we are deeply loved and supported and meant to be doted on. We're meant to be just, enjoyed at the highest level. And when we don't know that, we experience these fears, and our fears hold us back. Our fears keep us in a wounded space and prevent us from healing from our past traumas and just accumulation of stress over the years. And so working with your fears in a variety of ways and with all the tools and modalities that we have available to us allows you to step beyond those fears and really see what life is like when you are confident, embodied, and living in love. So this is a very high level overview of some of the ways that the Academy supports us into coming into alignment with the universe. And really encourage all of you to go to the course description, and that is thegreatestyouacademy.com. Right, Mia? Yeah. And so you can see more there, and kind of take your time and look at the different modules and the different possibilities for you there to really see how we can take you from out of alignment and wanting a new life to actually being in alignment and creating that life. Because that's really, what it's all about. It's not a simple, necessarily a simple decision to become in alignment. It actually is a beautiful unfolding, and we get to be a part of that in so many beautiful lives through the Academy.
Lori,
Yeah.
regarding, well, the fear, the thoughts, and the love. So some other people have come on, and this is also a good reminder in this talk that if we rewire ourselves to align with the universe, we take love first and we become aware of our thoughts and we remove our fears, which, yes, we teach that in the Academy. But these are the reason it's taught is these are the foundations of changing your life, completely changing your life to be more in alignment with what you can imagine the highest sense of you that can be, or to be in alignment with the universe, because the fear is what's stopping you. And as Lori said, we get into all of that, but it's from your earlier years. It's even from your years now. So if your actual neurological thought patterns have fear in them, such as a trauma that you suffered, what you are doing by not watching your thoughts, by regurgitating it, by going over it, you're cementing it in as if it's happening all the time. So your body now also is experiencing trauma in itself. It's having that weightedness on it that it doesn't need.
Yeah. And also, Mia, by the same token, not only are we, kind of re-experiencing it, but that initial event or series of events created a pair of glasses for us, right? And so we're going out into the world after that event or series of events, and we're seeing everything that confirms it, right? So we're closed to the ways that those things are not true, and our brain is very hypersensitive and aware of the things that prove it true. So yes, day after day, if we're not processing that old and healing that old, we're just making it more and more true. And then of course, harder and harder to overcome and live differently than that story that was created for us. What are some of, I realize as we're talking about it, our definition, the way you and I are using and thinking of fears is so broad. And people may think, well, I'm not afraid of things, so maybe we could talk just for a minute about what are the kinds of fears that people may hold that we can help them move out of.
Well, let's also, here's a overall space, and then we can break it down. I was on with a woman, I think she's probably South African. She was in Dubai today talking about a healing. And we were talking about the fears. And so we began with, part of it is knowing who you are is, how were you raised? Were you were you raised in a religious fashion that brought fear in? And she said, I was raised Catholic. And I said, okay, so some of those fears that you're a sinner and you have to suffer, you have to remove in order to, one, have a physical healing, but to have the emotional space, the enlightenment, and be aligned with the universe, those fears have to go. That little belief of who you are cannot be there anymore. And this is why I love what we've created in the Academy, because we break it down for you so you can see that it's a lie about who you are. And so you can see that something is an untruth or a lie, a misbelief, whatever you want to call it. What is there on the other side? The truth of who you truly are. And so when you work with your thoughts and your fears, you can only develop a sense of love. Do you see why love, thoughts, and fears are all in alignment today in our conversation? Because you want to be in that space of love, because that's the highest vibration. So on everything, we want to raise it up. So with her and her healing, it was about first her recognizing that there are areas in her existence that she can clean up or look at it. and remove the spaces that have her bound to her fears. Just like all of us have to do that.
Yeah.
Whether we're just
Yep.
in our journey, whether we're midway, 3/4, we'll never be through, guys. And that's the beauty, is we get to keep growing and growing, developing who we are. And so it's such a beautiful path to align yourself to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call your higher self, your higher creation, your life force. It's who you are.
Absolutely. So in that beautiful reminder, you shared some fears that people hold. You know, I'm supposed to suffer, right? Or I'm a sinner, or I'm not worthy, right? I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not healthy. My body can't be healthy.
Yeah, or I'm not loved enough. You know,
Not loved enough.
he is, and the mind and the spirit is, when we don't feel that we're loved enough, it has no to grow. It's like living in darkness instead of the light, like the sunshine that we sometimes, Lori and I, refer to as. And if you imagine divine love or God, you can imagine the rays of light. You know, that's the brightness, the love. So instead of living in darkness, you can come out of that, lay down your fears, work through your thoughts and your fears, and shift them into love, because your body wants to feel that love. So there's somatic body work. There's somatic work that we teach in the academy. There's also body love stuff that we go over. It's about connecting and clearing out who you are so that you are living your most, and I don't want to sound cheesy here, but your highest vibrational self. If everything on
the greatest you.
Yeah. And if everything on this planet has a vibration to it, right? There's sound waves, there's vibration. We, as walking around, we have a vibration. Our thoughts have vibrations. There's a lot of vibrational stuff going on. So you always want it to be in its highest level so that you can bring that in, whether it's healing to your body, healing to your mind, healing to your spirit. A beautiful place.
Absolutely.
To connect to.
Yeah.
Love and body,
and there's the Trinity. Yes. So, you know, as we're thinking about this, maybe an exercise that people could do with this is put either 3 pieces of paper, or divide your piece of paper into 3 parts: love, thoughts, and fears. And I think you're going to probably have the easiest time with the fears, because that tends to be, we're more aware of the things that feel threatening to us than we are of anything else. I always give the example, you know, if we walked into a cave and there was 100 sleeping puppies in that cave and one snake over in the corner, our mind, we're going to be focused on that snake, because we're going to, you know, have the fear. And so that's kind of knowing that that's how we are wired in order to give ourselves the best chance of survival. We're probably going to be more aware of our fears and limitations than anything else. So I think this will be a useful exercise, both to see that how they can be, you know, how we can be more aware of the puppies, the beautiful sleeping puppies, and bring more of our alignment into being. So we have these, say, 3 pieces of paper, looking at the love, right? And asking yourself, where are you living in love? What else might be available to you in that area? With respect to your thoughts, what are some of the thoughts that you can identify that are not in alignment with the person that you want to be, the person that you know yourself truly to be, that aligned greatest version of you? So if you see yourself as someone who, you know, has fulfillment in their relationships, in your career, in your finances, all of the wonderful things that you want, what are the thoughts that are inconsistent with that version of you? And actually being able to write them down and seeing, these are the thoughts that I want to change, because when I changed these thoughts, I changed my existence, right? Because our existence, right, our thoughts create our emotions, which create our actions, which create our life circumstances. So if we want to change our life circumstances, we have to back it up and work with our thoughts. So what are the thoughts for you that are not in alignment with this glorious version of you that you are showing up to become? And then the fears, and the fears and the thoughts are very closely aligned. And you might just have to dig a little bit deeper for the fears, because the thoughts are often more up here, but they reveal to us the underlying fears. So for us to be able to kind of just step back and look at that, I think would be a great exercise in getting in touch a little bit with where you're headed, where you can grow, and what you can work on to become more aligned. And of course, I suggested too that if you have not done so, or maybe you want to do it again, you want to look at the course description for the Greatest You and look at all the pieces that are in there, as far as the knowledge that you need, the methods that will take you from where you are to where you want to go, all of the integration work, which allows you to take that material, put it into your life and your circumstances and your challenges, and the support piece, right? So the knowledge, the integration, the support that we offer you through the Academy, and ask yourself if you're ready to get into alignment with the universe and what is waiting for you, the life that you want. We've been talking about that and manifesting. Mia, what are your thoughts about how they can take these ideas forward and live in more love, more aligned thoughts, and release the fears?
Well, first of all, I love how you suggested doing 3 columns, fold it into 3 pieces, take 3 separate pieces of paper. And the first one that I would like you to look at, even before your fears and your thoughts, would be love. Because most people don't understand what love is. They think it's relationship stuff. And so did your mother or your father ever say to you, and I would say 99.999% of the population, or 100% would say no. Did your mother or father say to you, honey, I want you to talk to your body with love, and I want you to listen and to say, it's okay, we're going to get through this. Or let me find where that clogged story is from Bobby Joe hitting you in the stomach, or whatever it is. We were not. Let's look at what the elements of love are. Once I taught a course called the 6 Elements of Love, and it was fabulous. So if there's 6, there's more, right? So there's the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotional connection to people, how we look at the world, how we look at people individually, how we love animals, how we love nature. All of that becomes the universe within us, literally. Some people, to get happy, I do it too, because I think it's fun, because I want to, when I want to feel good, is I look at animal pictures, not pictures, but little videos. This morning, this little kitten discovered a leg, and it was like, that sent so much love to you, beautiful little being. So to get to a place like that, it takes work to examine who you are and what you want out of life. I mean, literally what you want out of life. Because life is grander and bigger than our fears and our thoughts. And until we go on a journey to say, I want to learn everything that there is to know about love, you're not going to know it. And I went on that journey when I was 4 years old. My household was very abusive with my mother, and I used to want to just love more. How could I love more? How could I heal my mom? I didn't even think, how could I heal myself at that age? And it took years before the how can I heal myself come in. So look at the love part, and then look at the fear, and then look at the thoughts, because your thoughts are both filled with love and fear. So you're going to want to be able to rewire the way that you're thinking about yourself, others. All of that brings you fears are trapped in your thoughts, which are also trapped in your body. So the only way to heal them is to remove them. And so changing and shifting, or as Lori said earlier, breaking beliefs, is a way that we call removing fears. If you want it gone, it can be gone. I literally walk around
Absolutely.
my life saying, when I was referring to the healing that I was working with somebody on earlier today, and I told her this: walk around the house and or wherever you are, your work, wherever, driving, and ask the universe, ask God to show you more. You have a question you want to learn, ask for it, ask to be taught, be open, learn how to open your heart in love so that you can receive what's already naturally yours. That's really what Lori and I do, is to teach you to get rid of the crap so you can open up and be yourself, heal yourself, communicate with yourself. All the things that we keep telling you are inside you already, that you have it.
Yes.
We'll say, oh, no, it's not. Where is it? It's because you're too afraid to know, right? So take the step, bring in love, remove the fear, and watch your thoughts. And those are the three foundational things that change us from just being human to being human spiritual, to being human and spiritual beings, to be able to manifest on a dime, heal on a dime, change. Any change of awareness for love or greater, for spiritual awareness, which is a healing, a manifesting, whatever, is where you want to be. It's not just a woohoo thought, it's an actual action. Okay, I'm going to say it twice. Actual comma, actual realization of how your life can again actually be. And I know that that's incorrect to say actually 3 times in a sentence.
But it's so actual.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to fully grasp that until you start having that experience. But for now, that's where the trust comes in knowing that this is who I really am. Everything that is on my heart is exactly who I was designed to be. So it's really just a matter of coming into that, stepping into it and allowing it. So I love what you said, almost like we gave the advice last week to go searching for the miracles. Be open to it, assume that they're going to be in front of you. And so this is the same sort of idea where we're saying, go ahead and ask for those things. Show me more love, and then wait, knowing that it is on its way.
Yeah. People don't realize that they can shift, change, and grow because they're human. That's the miracle of you, is you have this ability to be greater than you actually ever thought you were. And the answers are there. Lori and I have so many people that are just like blinded to the fact that they could actually communicate a higher level and hear the answers. And it's really beautiful.
It is. And people, the one thing that I would say that I didn't understand for myself, we can end on this, but I didn't really understand for myself until I really had a number of experiences, is that we don't wait for our experiences, our circumstances to change before we claim who we are. We claim who we are, and then the circumstances and the situations change. So we have it backwards most of the time, where we think, okay, soon as I fill in the blank,
right,
then I can be that person.
And what happens is nobody gets to that space because they don't know how to do it, because fear kicks in and the thoughts kick in and the love is gone, literally. The anger, the frustration is there. We all did it. I used to stand around going, okay, God, tell me. And then I wouldn't hear anything. And I'm like, ugh. And so I had to dig deeper, right? I heard, go deeper, do this, do that. And as I did it, I realized, wow, I'm a co-creator.
Yes.
Experience right now. How many people in the very beginning of their journey says, I'm actually co-creating? It's not within just Lori and I and a few others, each and every person. So we want to leave you with that beautiful awareness of who you actually are and the ability that you have. Once you declare what you want, the pathways open up, but you have to do your work. You have to remove the fear, still your thoughts, and stay in that place of love. Love is the highest vibration, and it supports you. And also, if those of you who are wondering about love and heart work and things like that, we talk and we go through some stuff like that in the academy as well.
Mhm.
Recommend, and Lori recommends some other stuff too, but the frequency of love is 528 megahertz. And so listen to a meditation even on YouTube that has a 528 megahertz focus on love.
Yeah.
I went on healing a month ago, and the megahertz were really low, like 148 or something like that.
Mhm.
It's a totally different feeling. I was exhausted, but in the love one, I'm elevated.
Yeah.
What do you want? Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't feel bad. You know, I remember listening to conversations like this decades ago and thinking, I don't really get it. I feel something stirring in me, but I don't really get it. That's okay if that's where you are. That's what the work does. So we got you in the academy. We can teach you so that you have your own experience of this, and then it all makes sense. So just trust that guidance. And if this is sounding right to you, even if it doesn't make all the sense, even if you say, I don't have those kinds of experiences, that's okay. We can give them to you as you open up and do this work. So just keep that in mind for any of you who might be watching and thinking, I'm not quite sure what they're talking about.
And if that's the case, you can set an appointment with us. You can either write us at mia@miascience.com and ask, or Lori at lorimontree.com and ask, or you could go to thegreatestyoucalendar.com and book a 15-minute space there, and let's have a talk.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, so nice to spend time with you all. I look forward to your comments in the Facebook group about what resonated with you and how you're taking this forward, or what questions you might have. We're always here to support you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.